The Spanish flu, the Lend-Lease Act, and the World Health Organization are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is March 11th, 2022. It is the 70th day of the year. You got 295 days left. It's the 10th Friday in the 11th week and the 81st day of winter. Today is National 311 Day. On 311, March 11th, National 311 Day offers an annual reminder that 311 is a resource for communities around the country to connect with their city's non-emergency services. 311 is a non-emergency number that you call to, talk to the police, whatever. Ask questions about the city, things of that nature. I used it to figure out why I got 3 tickets for the same thing, one of those camera things. Yeah. They connected me to the right people and brought it down to just 1. It was the same picture of me 3 seconds apart 3 times. It's like the camera thought I was doing donuts in the intersection or something like that. All right, let's see what else March 11th has given us. 1702, the first daily newspaper in England is published, the Daily Courant. 1824, the Bureau of Indian Affairs is created. And if you know anything about the history of this organization, it was a nightmare. 1918, the first case of the Spanish influenza is discovered. One thing leads to another, and it's estimated 500 million people were affected, and the number of deaths was 50 million. Now, those are the estimated numbers because back then, there really wasn't a lot of internet and tracking of numbers like this. So that's what they estimate. Even if it's missing 1 million or 2, that's a lot of people dying from the influenza. 1941, World War II, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signs the Lend-Lease Act into law, allowing American-built war supplies to be shipped to the Allies on a loan-type system. They're supposed to give it back, but they don't really give things back once you've been to war with them. I'm sure some of the stuff in the European theater that wasn't destroyed or whatever was given back to the U.S. there, but they never shipped stuff like that back to the United States. Anyway, here's the deal with the Lend-Lease Act. Great Britain had been fighting Germany since 1939, and they'd been buying a lot of their weapons and ammunition from the United States on a cash and carry basis, meaning you pay us, we send the stuff to you. In late 1940, England informed the United States that they'd soon be bankrupt, and Germany's like getting ready to cross the channel. Well, the United States wanted to continue to support England and help them out, but they were bound by the Neutrality Act of 1939. This act said we could sell weapons to anyone we wanted, but they have to pay up front. There was no loans, no nothing like that. It was cash and carry, like I'd said. Any other type of assistance was prohibited. So in January of 1941, FDR went to Congress and said, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to help out our allies and treat it like a national security issue, which in reality it was. Most of Congress and most of the American public did not want to get involved in World War II. So they sort of saw this as a compromise. We can, supply these people to fight and we don't have to commit our army to it. None of our people die. They could deal with their own problem. We're just going to help them out. The bill bounced around Congress for a couple months, and finally in March of 1941 it was signed. It was originally designed just to help the United Kingdom, but things happened and over 36 different ally countries had gotten aid from this program we had. 9 months later, the Japanese attacked us at Pearl Harbor and we entered the war anyway. 1945, staying with World War II, the Imperial Japanese Navy attempts a large-scale kamikaze attack on the U.S. The United States Pacific Fleet anchored in the Ulysses Atoll in Micronesia. During the attack, the Japanese had lost 13 aircraft and about 60 or 70 were killed. With the United States, only 1 aircraft carrier was damaged, 26 were killed, and 105 were wounded. So basically, it was a giant failure on the Japanese part. 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev gains power of the Soviet Union. Now, we talked about this before. His mother was actually Ukrainian. We talked about how Russia and Ukraine have their, they're very connected, and that's part of the reason this war is going on there. But yeah, on March 11th, 1985, he becomes the main dude in the Soviet Union. 1993, Janet Reno becomes the first female U.S. Attorney General. 2020, the World Health Organization declares COVID-19 virus a pandemic, and we still got it. And I honestly think this time it's going to fade away. I mean, we had the Delta variant and the Omicron variant, and now it seems to be kind of going away, and let's hope it does. 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden signs the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan into law. Movies released on March 11th. Today, The Atom Project. A time-traveling explorer teams up with a younger and an older version of himself to come to terms with his past while saving the future. This looks really good. I'm going to see it and I'll tell you how it was. The previews really look interesting. Here's a little piece of trivia about it. All the stars have played Marvel superheroes. Ryan Reynolds played Deadpool. Mark Ruffalo plays the Hulk. Jennifer Gardner played Elektra back in, early 2000s. And Zoe Saldana is Gamora on the Guardians of the Galaxy. She's the green chick. Born on March 11th, 1971, Johnny Knoxville. He was born Philip John Clapp, and he gained fame as a creator, producer, and frequent victim of MTV's stunt show Jackass. He has gone on to star in several feature films such as The Dukes of Hazzard and Men in Black, and film versions of the popular Jackass series. They just came out with another one too. I was invited by YouTube to go see it, and they were supposed to send me the thing so I could go see it down there in LA. No, they didn't send me anything. They said they were going to, they didn't. Before fame, he became interested in acting after reading the novel On the Road, which his cousin gave him. So one of the best episodes ever of the show Jackass happened in North Hollywood. Anyway, it's really steep there in California, Hollywood, California area. And one of the guys drove a hearse up, like he was going to park it on a hill that's right next to this place where a lot of the people get their brunch or whatever. So it's a lot of young, hip people are there. And this hearse pulls up like the guy's just going to get something to eat. And he just happens to have the hearse there and got to find a place to park. Well, as he gets out, slams the door, the back door opens, and a casket slides out onto the ground. And the look on all the people getting brunch on the little patio thing is just classic. They did so many good things on that show, and the movies are excellent if you're into that type of thing, which I enjoy watching people get damaged. I don't know why. Some of it gets pretty gross too. So if you ever decide you're going to watch a Jackass movie and you don't know what it's all about, they get kind of gross sometimes. So keep that in mind. Nothing is really off limits with these people. But when they're just doing normal stuff, it's great. I shouldn't say normal stuff. When they're doing stuff that doesn't include bodily fluids, it's pretty entertaining. Died on March 11th, 1958. We lost Ole Kirk Christensen. Ever heard of him? He was the founder of Legos. Before fame, he was a carpenter who started making wooden toys. Yes, the original Legos were made out of wood. He invented the term Lego, which came from the Danish word leggut, meaning play well. I think I pronounced that right, but it's L-E-G, looks like leg, and then G-O-D-T. I hope that's correct. He was the 10th son born to his parents. Yeah, I guess they didn't have Legos to play with. He was married and had 2 children. Now, not only was this just a great toy for myself growing up, my wife, if she sits down with our granddaughter to play Legos, my granddaughter will be burnt out in an hour or less. My wife will play for 2 or 3 hours by herself. It's weird. But I guess that's what happens when you have an architecture degree, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, besides the toy, they've gone on to make Lego movies. They've got Lego video games, everything Lego. My oldest son likes to get the big, really intricate ones and build them to this day. He's in his 20s and he edited this video. All right, that's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and be nice to each other.